Mr. Ozenne, let me explain our procedure to you. First, I'm going to cover your parole revocation questionnaire with you. Then I'm going to read you the allegations of how you allege to have violated your parole. Then you'll plead either guilty or not guilty to each of the allegations. Then we'll have a full discussion about the allegations. Then you'll have an opportunity to say whatever you'd like to say to the board. Then we'll vote. You understand our procedure?
Yes, sir.
Do you have your parole revocation questionnaire in front of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is that your signature at the bottom, dated October the 6th of 2023?
Yes, sir.
When you answered that questionnaire, were those questions all accurate and correct?
Yes, sir.
Are they still accurate and correct today?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready to proceed with your hearing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to read you each rule violation, then I'm going to ask you to enter a plea. Number 2, rule violation number 2. You failed to report to the Lafayette District Office as instructed on the following dates: February the 7th of 2023, April the 4th of 2023, April the 14th of 2023, and April the 18th of 2023. How do you plead to those allegations?
I got a plea, or I could explain, or just plead right now.
Well, maybe I didn't explain it accurately. I might have skipped that part. You can plead guilty, guilty with a statement, not guilty, and not guilty with a statement. So how will you wish to
All right.
plead?
I want to plead for number 2. For the first one, no, for the first one, I want to plead guilty with a statement.
All right. I'll get to the other ones.
All right, all
Next
right.
one is number 3. You failed to obtain permission from the supervising officer before moving on or about August the 30th of 2022, October the 16th of 2022, January the 16th of 2023, March the 7th of 2023, and March the 19th of 2023. You had to be located at your new address by this supervising officer on or about September the 21st of 2022, November the 1st of 2022, January the 31st of 2023, March the 13th of 2023, and March the 24th of 2023. How do you plead to those allegations?
I'll plead guilty with a statement.
Okay. The next is number 4. You engaged in criminal activity by committing the offense of battery of a dating partner on or about April the 14th of 2023, and you were arrested by Lafayette Parish Sheriff's Department on or about April 22nd of 2023. Under docket MD 189682, the charge of domestic abuse, the charge of battery of a dating partner was amended to resisting an officer. You pled guilty, were sentenced to 90 days parish jail with credit for time served. How do you plead to that allegation?
Not guilty to the battery charge, but I did plead guilty, and then it was disturbing the peace.
Well, that's some controversy, but okay.
Yeah.
Understand that. You agree you pled guilty to something.
Yes, sir.
The peace
Yes.
or resisting an officer. The record seems to suggest resisting an officer, but okay. Number 8. Well, it's fun to read. Number 6. You were ordered as a special condition to obtain full-time employment by the parole board prior to your release on August the 2nd of 2022, as evidenced by the certificate of parole. You have failed to provide the supervising officer with documentation or proof of valid employment since on or about February 14th of 2023. How do you plead to those allegations?
I'm gonna plead. I maintained the job the whole time I was at, but I'm gonna still plead guilty because I didn't go back in the office after February, but I was
You'll
working.
have an opportunity to explain that, okay?
All right.
The next one is number 8. On October the 5th of 2022, the supervising officer served you with an administrative sanction, ordering you to remain in Be Great Recovery for 6 calendar months. You left the program without the permission of the supervising officer on or about October the 16th of 2023. How do you plead to that allegation?
I'm gonna plead guilty with a statement.
All right. Also, violation number 8, on February the 7th of 2023 and April the 14th of 2023, you failed to report to the Lafayette District Office as instructed to submit to a drug test. How do you plead to that allegation?
Guilty with a statement.
Number 10, you have an arrears balance of $441 on your account. How do you plead to that?
Guilty with a statement.
Did you read it, the April the 14th, he failed to report? Is that on there? It's okay, it's not on there. He didn't even report on February the 7th, and then she had April the 14th as well for a drug test. It's not on there, it's on the.
Yeah, it's on there. You read it.
Oh, you did? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't
There
hear
was 2 days. It was
I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
February the 7th.
Oh, I apologize.
And then your final one, number 12, special condition, ordered by the parole board prior to your release on August the 2nd of 2022 and evidenced by the certificate of parole, AANA meetings 3 times per week. You have failed to provide documentation or proof of attendance to the supervising parole officer since on or about October the 13th of 2022. How do you plead to that allegation?
Not guilty.
All right. Mr. Ozenne, your case has been assigned to Ms. Pearl Wise. Would you please answer any questions she might have?
Yes, sir.
All right, good morning, sir. Let's hear your statements. Let's go back to number 2. You said you pled guilty with a statement on number 2. What is your statement about number 2?
Will submit a monthly report, blah, blah,
Yes.
will complete I will report to in order to do so. You fail. On February the 7th, I was to work. I was working.
Okay.
And I talked to the parole officer about it and told her that I was at work, and then but I reported the next day. I mean the next week on the next
week, okay.
Which was February the 14th, and I went to do my drug test and everything.
Good, okay. Any other statements for number 2?
And on the incident in April, I didn't report in April. I'm not gonna lie to y'all because on the 4th, I was at work on the 4th, but then after the 4th, me and I was dealing with the incident with Miss Jackie DeLoach, and I was trying to get my name cleared because I knew if I go in there, they probably would arrest me. So I was trying to get my name cleared of the charges that was brought against me.
Okay, all righty. Any other statements?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you said you had some statement for the next one as well. I think number 3, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
What are your statements regarding that?
Well, on August the 30th, my mom had put me out of our house. She had put me out, told me to get out of our house. So when I got all my stuff and moved out, I called Miss Bonnie and left her a recording on her answer machine and told her what happened and everything. But she didn't get back with me till like September, like 3 weeks later.
Okay.
And then the other ones, I did move. I was in a sober living house, and I was one of the officers in the Oxford community. And I moved to another house to open the house just like for 30 days, and I moved back. But I did let her know all this. My fault is I didn't get permission.
Okay.
But every time I moved, I reported it to her. My fault in the thing when I'm pleading guilty to her is I didn't get permission before I did it.
Okay, all right. Anything else you want us to know?
No, ma'am.
Now, tell us why you got kicked out of the office house, the Be Great recovery place.
Well, I didn't get kicked out the Be Great recovery place. The man who run the place, he a homosexual, you know, and he was making advantages towards me and this and that. But in the report, Ms. Bonner said that when I went report in November, that Mr. Loomis had put he a supervising parole officer. He put in the report that I got kicked out for drinking, and me and Mr. Loomis never discussed my living situation over there or nothing. But what I figured out was that Mr. Larry called the parole people and he told them that I got kicked out for drinking, which I didn't get kicked out for drinking.
But now you did have a positive drug screen, right, for marijuana, alcohol.
That was when I first got out.
I'm looking at August 30th that you had it.
And when?
August 30th.
No, ma'am. I didn't go in that August. I went in it was before August 30th.
Let me say it like this. That's when the officer was notified on August the 30th that you had a positive. I don't have the date of when the test was done. I don't have that.
Damn.
So what date was it done?
Excuse me. I got kicked out of not kicked out. I moved out of Be Great in October.
That's correct. That's correct. That's correct.
In August, when I first got out, I ain't gonna lie, I drank, I did drugs. You know, I'm gonna take my lick on that. And I tested positive. But then after that, I turned my life around. I got a job.
But let's go back even further than that. You are one of the unique people in that a panel granted you parole on July 19th of 2022. You must have been doing exceptionally well. How much time had you served when you got out? You remember?
13 years.
13 years.
Yes, ma'am.
And then when you actually got paroled on August the 2nd, and then when the officer to get a warrant on you on May 23rd, you didn't even make it out a year. That's disturbing to me. And all the programs that you had accomplished in order to be granted parole, you had the skills you needed. Can we agree with that?
Yes, ma'am.
You had them. Why didn't you use them? That's my question.
Excuse me. When I first got out, I messed up. But I turned my life around. I turned it around. I obtained employment.
When did this turnaround happen?
Like in October, when Ms. Bonner, remember on the thing she said that she got in touch with me in September the 21st.
Okay, but you know what?
From September the 21st till I got arrested, I turned my whole life around.
You got arrested April 22nd for the battery charge. You turned around in September. Okay.
Yes,
as I read your record, the things that the officer was doing with you and back and forth looked like you were just too busy for supervision. Everything else was rolling in your life, and you just was supervision was just getting in your way.
No, I embraced the supervision.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that's not the case. But that's all.
I embraced the supervision, and I did what I was supposed to do. I did. Y'all asked me to go to meetings. Y'all asked me to obtain work. I got a job September the 9th. Okay. And I worked till the day I got arrested. I ain't never worked that much in my life before.
Well, good. That's an improvement. At least you can say you improved in that area you worked. That's all right. Thank you for answering my questions.
Ma'am.
Any questions? No? Anything you'd like to say to the board before we vote, Mr. Ozenne?
I want to say this. I had my mess ups in the while I was out there, but I also had a lot of good. And my officer never had to come hunt me down or find me. I was always in contact with her. And I messed up. I'm gonna take my lick. But be honest with you, I got faults. I'm a man, I'm a human being. But I wasn't out there living the life of crime or nothing. I was working. I was doing what I was supposed to do. And I'm still learning how to follow rules outside, you know what I'm saying? Outside of the prison system. I'm learning, I'm still learning, and I'm 50 years old because I never did follow rules before in society. And I'm learning to do that, and I embrace that. And I worked and I did what I was supposed to do. I went to my meetings, I did my drug screen, and I went visit, I did my visitations and all that with the parole officer. I never did none of that before. And I don't want to go back to prison. I just did 13 years. I ain't going to even lie to y'all. And I'm not ashamed to say it. I don't want to go back. I like living out there in the world. I like being a part of society.
Thank you, Mr. Ozenne. Panel ready to vote?
Yes, indeed. Ms. Ozenne, I'm concerned about you. I really am. I'm concerned about you. What you just said does not match the record. The officer gave you opportunities. You were paroled. You had skills. You could have stayed out if you wanted to.
Okay.
My vote is to revoke your supervision in order that your original sentence be imposed. I find you guilty as you pled guilty to the allegations. And I'm gonna make a further recommendation that you be re-enrolled in long-term substance abuse treatment.
Thank you very much. Mr. Roche?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My vote is the same for the same reasons.
Mr. Ozenne, you have 2 votes to revoke. My vote likewise is the same, with a recommendation, as Ms. Wise suggested, that you try to re-enroll in some long-term substance abuse treatment. Good luck to you, sir.